Howdy, y'all! We're reading Creepypastas. I don't know how many we're gonna read. How many y'all want to do? 3? Couple?
Three, yeah.
We'll do 3.
It's
We'll
really
do
gonna
3.
depend. Some of them are
How
really
long they are. Yeah, how long they are, I guess.
About 6 or 7.
We're the great story of Jeff the Killer is up first.
Extra, read all about it. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story.
I had a bad dream. Oh. No, you go. You got it.
I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night.
Says the boy.
I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling like someone was watching me. Oh, it keeps going? Oh my god. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, okay, thank you, James. In the little ray of light illuminating from between my curtains were a pair of 2 eyes. These weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seems like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said it in a way only a madman could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my neck. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police.
You're still going. Still going, Tierney.
Really? Oh my god! They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out. Oh my god! To see him vanish into the distance. Wait, let me zoom in. Hold on. I can tell you one thing. I still never forgot that face. I never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes. And that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head.
Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Liu couldn't complain though. A new, better house? What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I never crossed the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son." She turns around and calls her son over. "They're our new neighbors." Billy says hi and ran back to play in his yard.
Oh, well,
Said Jeff's mom.
I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter, and my 2 sons Jeff and Lou. They each introduced them. Oh, I'm so sorry. You go.
No, you're fine. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family were done packing, Jeff went up to his mom.
Mom, why would you invite me to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid.
Jeff,
said his mother.
we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we're going to that party, and that's final.
Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there, looking at his ceiling, when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. He heard his mother calling down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. Jeff was a closeted homosexual. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get his breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Liu finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise.
Hey, what the hell?
The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hand. The kid
I'll be the
seemed to be
first
about
bully.
12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears an Aeropostale, what the fuck is shirt, and ripped blue jeans.
Well, looks like we got some new meat.
Two other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge.
Well,
Got that
since
part?
you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith.
This 12-year-old is a grown man.
Jeff and Liu looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have.
He's Troy.
Troy.
Wait, he's
They
mine.
looked over- They looked over.
Wait,
at
it's
the fat
him? What? Stupid.
It's like the big bully is talking for the other two.
Yeah, okay, I'm dumb.
Yeah. They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling,
And I
said the first kid.
am Randy. Now, for all the kids in the neighborhood, there's a small price for the bus fare if you catch my drift.
Liu stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes when one of his friends pulled a knife on him.
I had hoped that that you would be more cooperative, but it seems like we must do this the hard way.
The kid walked up to Liu and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong. A burning sensation. He stood up, but Liu gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Listen here, you
Listen
little
here,
punk.
you little punk.
Give me.
Oh.
That's
No,
mean.
that's
I don't know.
Listen here, you little
I'm
punk.
sorry, my bad.
Give back my bro's wallet or else.
Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife.
Oh, and what will you do?
Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it.
Did you just
Randy
do that?
screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his
Sorry.
knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach. Went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Liu could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff.
How'd you?
Was all he said. They saw the bus coming and knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing. They started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and others. As Jeff and Liu made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Liu just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away. Retired day of school, Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat ominous voice,
It was a wonderful day.
Next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look.
Jeff, tell Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids. That it wasn't regular fighting and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son!
Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true.
Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Liu.
Who's
Son.
one of the cops? Oh, said one of the cops.
We found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now, what does that tell us?
Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Liu had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing, because truth be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Liu.
Son, call down your brother.
Jeff couldn't do it since it was he who beat up all the kids.
It was you, bro.
It was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Liu tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me.
The cop looked at his partner, and they both nod.
Oh, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Wait!
Says Liu. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them up.
It was me! I beat up those little punks!
He's got a knife,
Have
shoot
the
him.
mark to prove it!
He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle.
Son, just put the knife down.
Said the officer. Liu held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops.
No! Liu! It was me! I did it!
Jeff had tears running down his face.
Huh, poor bro, trying to make the blame for what I did. Well, take me away.
Police
Fucking
led
what?
Liu out to the patrol car.
Liu! Tell them it was me! Tell them! I was the one who beat up those kids!
Jeff's mother put her hand on his shoulder.
Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's you. You can stop.
Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Liu inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway. Seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong,
Son, what is it?
Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him, as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Liu when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Liu at JD's. No friends to hang out with. Nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday, when Jeff is woken by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face.
Jeff, it's the day.
She said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room.
What's today?
Asked Jeff as he stirs awake.
Why, it's Billy's party.
He was now fully awake.
Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after...
There was a long pause.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed.
Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up, picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought,
For a little
why would they
kid's
ever
birthday
wear
party.
such fancy
Yeah.
clothes to a kid's party?
Son, is that all you're going to wear?
Said Jeff's mom.
Better than wearing too much.
He said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile.
Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed. This is how you go if you want to make an impression.
Said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. Advertisement. I don't have... Wait, what is happening?
Just... I don't want it! I don't have any fancy clothes!
He yelled downstairs.
Just pick something out.
Called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions, and an undershirt. Couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on.
You're wearing that?
Like that.
They both said. His mother looked at her watch.
Oh, is that me? Oh no, time to change. Let's just go. No time to change. Let's just go.
She said as she herded Jeff and his father out. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids.
The kids are out in the yard! Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them?
Said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat.
Hey, wanna play?
Oh.
He said with his multiple personality disorder.
No kid. I'm way too old for this stuff.
The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face.
Please.
Said the kid.
Fine.
Said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend shoot at the kids. At first, he thought it was totally ridiculous. But then he started to actually...
He's having fun shooting kids.
I would. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of you. So he played with the kids for a while, till he heard a noise. Weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboard.
The fence!
Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat.
Oh God.
Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred.
Jeff, is it?
He said.
We have some unfinished business.
Jeff saw his bruised nose.
I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you. You got my brother sent to JDC.
Randy got an angry look in his eyes.
I don't know. I'm go for even. I go for winning. You ain't kicked our asses out one day, but not today.
With his weird Australia accent, as he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose. Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Why are they running? Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets.
What?
What?
This is a twofer. There's two people.
Oh. No one interrupts or guts will fly.
They said.
They said.
Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Thank you. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help?
Wait, what? Oh yeah, we do have a story.
He picks up Jeff by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood.
Come on, Jeff, fight me.
He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen.
He
Throws him again. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
Fight.
He throws Jeff back into the living room.
Come on, Jeff, look at me.
Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to the JDC, and now you're going to sit here and let him rot there for a whole year. You should be ashamed.
Jeff starts to
What
give
is his
up by his
accent?
constantly changing accent.
Oh, finally, you stand a fight.
Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt for a
One way, he's up.
says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. Rational thinking is gone. all he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him
Dude, I
straight
know
in
what
the
a fucking
heart.
pile driver is.
The punch causes Randy's heart to stop.
Oh my god!
He just
Randy
killed
catches
him.
breath. Jeff hammers down on him, punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. Parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith, although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. They hit all the kids, though. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind, and they let out their final round of bullets. As they let out their final round of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them, and they both started to scream.
That's how it happened.
Jeff wiped his eyes as best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile.
What's so funny?
Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on.
What's funny
He said,
is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol.
Jeff's eyes widened. Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol, vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. Very accurate. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Oh wait, I missed. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everyone started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, he fell out, and a nurse rushed in.
I don't think you can get out of bed just yet.
Sorry, I was drinking water. She said as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there, with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother.
Honey, are you okay?
She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak.
Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go.
Didn't he kill?
I thought he died.
Didn't he kill Randy?
Yeah. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm.
He'll be out tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again.
Jeff's mother hugs Jeff, and she says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visiting his family. Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family members were all there to see it, and what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage, holding the cover over his face, was almost removed.
Let's hope for the best.
Said the doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Liu and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face.
What? What happened to my face?
Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face, it's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned to a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror.
Jeff,
Said Liu.
it's not that bad.
Not that bad.
Said Jeff.
It's perfect!
His family was equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
Jeff, are you okay?
Okay. I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine. That is,
No.
his parents didn't know. Thank God we had the flashback.
Doctor!
Said Jeff's mom.
Doctor! Oh. Is my son alright? You know, in the head? Girl, what?
Oh yes, this behavior is typical of patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here, and we'll give him a psychological test.
Oh, thank you, doctor.
Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go.
Jeff looks away from the mirror. His face still formed into a crazy smile.
Okay, Mommy.
You gotta do it. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes.
Oh my god.
This is what
is
came
what-
in.
Uh-oh.
Said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Epic writing. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom and saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. We're about to get a live Jeff reaction.
What are you doing?
Jeff looked over to his mother.
I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever.
Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black.
Jeff, your eyes.
His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids so I could forever see myself. My new face.
Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son.
She said.
Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, get the gun.
Damn, immediately to the gun. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting
Gunning!
God. His brother Liu woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Liu. Liu thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip.
Shh. Just go to sleep.
Remember to check out the Jeff the Killer reboot of the Creepypasta classic.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that shit.
I
read it.
I remember that line. That's it. Wow.
That shit's so buns!
Can we do Eyeless Jack, please?
Hello, my name is Mitch. I'm here to tell you guys about an experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomena. But after that thing visited me, I believe in that paranormal trash now. A week after I moved in with my brother, Edwin,
He made mad.
after my house
Made the mimic.
was foreclosed, I finished unpacking. Edwin liked the idea of me moving in, since we had not seen each other in over 10 years, so I was excited too. Oh, went past my line. Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb.
That's
I
exactly.
fell asleep after I moved in. After the first week, I heard rustling noises coming from the outside of stupid. From outside at 1 in the morning. Thought it was a raccoon, so I ignored it and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, I told Edwin about it, and he agreed.
Yes.
The next, however, I thought I heard my window opening in a loud thump, as if someone entered my room. I darted up and looked around my room, but I saw nothing. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup, and when he saw me, he held up a nearby mirror, and I saw myself. I had a large gash on my left cheek. After I was rushed to the hospital, my doctor told me I must have been sleepwalking, but then he showed me something that made my blood turn cold. He looked up my shirt, revealed a sewn-up insertion where my kidneys were. I stared into his eyes, wondering?
Mind
Widening.
Widening.
Somehow
Oh my
you should have
god.
kidney last night.
That is a
My doctor
fire
told
line.
me.
We don't know how though, Mitch.
Dude.
My bad, lol.
Sorry, Mitch. Name. He said sorry.
Oh, yeah, we don't know how it happened though. Sorry, Mitch.
The next night was my breaking point. Around midnight, I woke up to see a truly horrifying sight. I was staring face to face with a creature with a black hoodie and dark blue mask, with no nose or mouth, staring down. The thing that scared me the most was that it had no eyes, just empty black sockets. The creature also had some substance dripping from its sockets. I grabbed a camera from a nearby mantle and took a picture immediately. After taking the shot, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get my lung. I stopped it by kicking it in the face. As I ran out of my room, I grabbed my wallet. I would need the money. I ran out of my brother's house into the night. I eventually ended up in the woods near Edwin's house and tripped on a rock. I fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. My doctor, the same one who treated me before, entered the room.
I have good news and bad news, Mitch.
My doctor started.
The good news is that you had minor injuries. Your parents are going to pick you up.
I sighed with relief.
The bad news is that your brother has been killed by some thing. Sorry.
My parents took me back to Edwin's house to collect my remaining belongings, which I did. Upon entering my room, I was scared, but remained calm. I grabbed my camera and then stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway leading to my room, I saw Edwin's body and something small laying through it. I retrieved it, entered my parents' car, not mentioning Edwin's corpse. I looked at the thing I had picked up and nearly vomited. I was holding my stolen half-eaten kidney and with some black substance on it.
I'm not gonna mention this. This isn't important.
Okay.
Black
First of all-
substance.
I too have
First
black
of all-
substance oozing out of pores.
I felt like I had to constantly double check what I was reading because sometimes it just was like wrong.
Yeah. No, I get that.
First,
Oh,
bad
Polybius?
fucking
That's
writing.
A classic.
awful writing. Second, who the fuck is that doctor? He needs to get his fucking license revoked. Sorry, Mitch. You're. I don't know.
His
who
brother
did
got
that.
killed by some thing. Sorry. Laughing Jack. It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son James was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James has always been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had many friends, but he has always had a wild imagination. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. I'm not sure who it was he could be talking to. Could he have finally made a friend? Being a single mom, it's hard for me to keep an eye on my son. So I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went
Your
to the
mom?
backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person back there. Talking to himself? Could have sworn I heard another voice. James! It's time to come inside! I called out to him. He came inside and sat down at the table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked. James looked up for a moment.
He's playing with my new friend.
He said, smiling.
Elmo?
I poured him some milk and continued to pry, as any good mother would. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him to have lunch with us? I asked. James stared at me for a moment before replying.
His name is Tapping Jack.
I was a bit... I was...
Oh, ooh. When did Elmo get in this fucking story?
I was a bit taken aback by what he had said. Oh, that's a strange name. What does your friend look like? I asked, a bit confused.
He's a clown. He has long hair and big swirly cone nose. He's got long arms and baggy baby socks. And he always smiles.
I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it is normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends. Especially when there's no real kids to play with. It's probably just a phase.
He's rude to me, bitch.
The rest of the day went by as per usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and reached to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed. Not long after, I had an awful nightmare. It was dark. I was in some kind of rundown amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned game hunts. The whole place had a horrible look to it. Everything was black and white. The prized stuffed animals all hung from nooses in the game hunts, all with sick grins on their faces. It felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there wasn't another living thing in sight. Then suddenly, I began to hear music play. The sound of Pop Goes the Weasel being played on a squeeze box echoed through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed its tune to the circus tent, almost in a trance. Unable to stop my legs from moving forward, it was pitch black. The only light came from a single spotlight shining on the center of a big top. As I walked towards the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop. Monkey chased Louise. Was well in fun. Music stopped right before its climax. Suddenly the light shot on. The intensity of the light was practically blinding. All I could see was a small, dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another one appeared. Another. And another. There were dozens of them, all coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen.
Felt like skin was strange.
All
Felt like I was on a street. A sesame one.
All I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew nearer. As I got closer, I could see. They were children! As I looked at each one, I noticed they were horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their bodies, others were severely burnt, and others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, clawing at my flesh, dragging me to the ground, and tearing inside me. As the children tore me apart, I faded away. All I could hear was laughter. Horrible, awful, evil laughter. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw that a few of James's action figures were positioned facing up in my... I sighed. James had probably woken up early. I gathered up the toys and made my way to James. However, when I opened the door, I found asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back into his toy. Headed out into the living room. A little while later, James woke up and I made him his breakfast. Quiet and seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep well. Oh, Perhaps he didn't sleep well either. I decided to ask him about the toys. James, honey, did you put the toys in Mommy's room this morning? His eyes shot up at me. Quickly glanced down back at his cereal.
Laughing Jack did it.
I rolled my eyes with and responded, well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room. James nodded and finished up his breakfast and decided to go play out in the yard. I went to relax in the living room, and I must have dozed off because I woke up in a couple hours later. Shit! I need to check on James. I was a bit worried. I had been over 2 hours and I haven't checked on him. What the fuck? Stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. I was getting nervous, so I called out to him, James! James, where are you? Just then I heard a giggle come from the front yard. I rushed through the gate round to the front of my house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him. James, how many times have I told you to stay in the backyard? What are you eating? James looked at me, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. It made me very nervous. James, who gave you that candy? James just stared at me, not speaking. James! Please, tell Mommy where you got that candy. James hung his head down and said,
Laughing Jack gave it to me.
My heart sunk. I kneeled down to look him in the eyes. James, I've had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He's not real! Now this is a very serious situation. I need to know who gave you the candy. I could see my son's eyes tear up.
That's Mama. Laughing Jack didn't give me the candy.
Come on, narrator.
I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James has never lied to me, but what he's telling me is impossible. I make him spit out the candy and I throw the rest away. James appears to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker down the street. Either way, I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on James. That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly, I was woken up by a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything I had on the counters had been thrown on the floor, and our dog Fido hung dead from the light fixture. His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy, the same type that James was eating earlier that day. My shock was quickly broken by a sharp screaming coming from James's room, followed by loud crashes. I quickly grabbed a knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs, and speed that only a mother whose child is in danger could have. I burst the door and flicked on the lights. Everything in the room was knocked over and tossed on the floor. My poor son on his bed, crying and shaking with fear, full of urine staining the sheets. I scooped my child up and ran out of the house. Went next door. Luckily, they were still awake. They let me use their phone and I called the police. It didn't take them long to arrive, and I explained what happened. They looked at me as if I was crazy. They searched the house, but all they found was a dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into our house and had done this right before making a quick escape when they heard me coming up the stairs. I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked and none of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went to the garage and found his old baby monitor and set it up in his room. If anything comes into it tonight, I was going to be able to hear it. I went to the kitchen and grabbed the largest knife from the drawer and put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anybody hurt my little boy. Soon enough, night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised that I wasn't going to let anything happen to him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, turned on the nightlight. Before closing the door, I whispered to him, "Good night, James. I love you."
Shut the fuck up, ragged ass bitch.
Don't. I tried to stay for as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off. My baby would just be safe for the night. Sleep. But just as I laid my head on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor. I put it on my night. First, it sounded like interference, like some sort of like some kind of radio would make. Then it turned into a soft moan. James asleep? Then I heard it. the laugh from my nightmare. That horrible laugh. I sprung up from my bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow. I rushed over to James's room and creaked the door open. I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on. Took a step in, and I could feel the warm, thick liquid on my feet. Suddenly, James' nightlight came on, and I could see the absolute horror laid out in front of me. James's body was nailed on the wall, the nails piercing through his hands and feet. His chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor. His eyes and tongue had been removed, along with most of his teeth. I was disgusted. I could hardly believe this was my baby boy. Then I heard it. Again. The soft, desperate moan. James was still alive! My baby! My poor baby boy! In so much pain! Barely clinging to life! I ran across the room and vomited on the floor, but my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me. I spun around while still wiping bile from my mouth. Then out of the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for all this horror. Laughing Jack. His ghost white skin and matted black hair hung down to his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by dark black rings. His twisted smile didn't even look like skin at all. It almost looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit with stripes, sleeves, and socks. His body itself was grotesque. His long arms hanging down past his waist, and the way he was posed made him look almost boneless, like a rag doll. He let out a sickening laugh, as if to let me know he was pleased with my reaction to his work. Then he turned around slowly in front of James and began to laugh, even more at the horrific sight he has laid out. That was enough to shake me from my terror. I snapped, "Get away from him, you bastard!" I rushed at the monster, raising the knife above my head and stabbed down at him. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared into a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through and pierced James' still beating heart, splashing the warm blood on my face. No. What have I done? My baby! I killed my baby! I immediately fell to my knees, and I could hear sirens in the distance growing louder. My boy! My sweet baby boy! I promised Mommy would protect you, but I failed. I'm sorry, James. I'm so sorry. Police soon arrived to find me in front of my son, still wielding the knife covered in my baby's blood. The trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in the house of the criminally insane, where I've been for the past 2 months. It's not so bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside the window. I'll talk to the orderlies about it in the morning.
It's not so bad here.
Oh my gosh.
It's not so bad here.
You know, after murdering my son, you know, there's upside.
Hey, I thought it was all over.